I cannot believe I am saying this, but good morning and welcome to London's Thorpe Park. This is a park that has been on my bucket list forever, and I'm just so excited to be here to check out the lineup of rides, the experiences, attractions, and of course, their newest flagship ride, Hyperia. That's a mack hyper coaster, quite unconventional, but something that since the day it was announced, I knew I had to check it out at some point, so here I am. As is the case with many European parks, Thorpe Park's dedication, it seems, to theming and immersion, even just like the scenery, the plants, how the park is laid out seems so unique and intentional. So without further ado, let's dive in to Thorpe Park. Colossus is a roller coaster I have been wanting to ride forever. I remember watching the POV to this ride as a kid because I just couldn't fathom that a roller coaster went upside down 10 times. It was honestly better than I thought. I've heard a lot of rumblings about how shaky it is. I didn't think it was that bad. There are like 3 or 4 moments that are shaky, maybe even like potholes, but it wasn't bad. This ride kind of made me realize how different Intamin does their corkscrews. Before this, maybe I just thought it was like a Maverick thing, but no, Intamin doesn't make like an evenly twisted corkscrew. It's almost like it rotates slower until it gets to the top and then it flips really fast. It was kind of fun to recognize like that motion on a ride like this. This came before Maverick, but you can just start to see that Intamin design philosophy coming through. Is it a mind-blowing ride? Not really. The fact that it does go upside down 10 times is awesome, don't get me wrong, but the fact that the last 5 are these Heartline rolls, that gets old after about 2 or 3, but the first half is great. There's kind of like a surprise floater airtime moment. It was good, honestly. The only real negative I have is the roughness paired with the trains. These trains are so tight for some reason. I don't remember other Intamin trains being this tight. I was in the back seat of a car and like I was straddling the row in front of me by like a good margin. It was not like my knees were just bumping the row in front of me. I literally had to like go around it. So it was very tight, difficult to get in and out of, but it's a good ride. Okay, Saw the Ride is absolutely a Gerstlauer Eurofighter. It is 100% a Eurofighter. Whatever that means to you, it probably is true here. This kind of reminds me of Mystery Mine at Dollywood. It's not the greatest Eurofighter layout, but the theming and the station, and there's essentially like a dark ride portion at the beginning of this ride. All of those things elevate this ride far above a normal Eurofighter for me. Like I would take a slightly rough ride that has immaculate theming over a great ride that has none. I'm not necessarily theming over roller coaster, but when you can kind of balance the two, I think that's when rides like this shine the most. The layout actually is pretty good. It just suffers from a couple potholes and a couple moments that really kind of bash you around. but the drop is great as you might expect, and a few of the inversions and elements are so tight. I think this ride really shows like how tight and compact a Eurofighter can be. That helps the intensity, it helps just make it feel very different from the other rides here, but it was great. I don't even know much about the Saw movies. I don't think you need to. It's just a fun roller coaster. Just brace yourself a little bit. Nemesis Inferno. I came in completely blind to this ride experience. I knew nothing about this roller coaster. This is a 2003 B&M invert, and it's not even 100 feet tall. I genuinely did not know that a sub 100 foot invert could be this intense. And I know how intense B&M inverts can be. This just really surprised me. The positive G's, it feels like some of the pullouts between elements on this ride are a lot tighter than normal. It also does this interlocking corkscrew thing. It's like the inverted version of Kumba. How Kumba kind of does a corkscrew turn, corkscrew through that corkscrew. This does the exact same thing. It looks very cool. Also, Inferno, fire. I didn't realize it is in a volcano. The queue leads up the side of it, and by the time you're in the station, up in that volcano, you're actually a good bit off the ground. That allows it to have a substantial pre-lift section, and it goes through the bottom of the volcano, through a tunnel. Very cool. The ride runs smooth, it's intense. I was honestly very surprised by this thing. Great ride, really good ride. Hyperia. Oh my goodness. I don't even know where to begin. This is a ridiculous roller coaster. So the only thing that Hyperia shares with like your B&M hypercoasters, Morgan Hyper, is the height. That is it. This is not your normal, regular hypercoaster. That is because this thing goes up the lift hill, and instead of just a normal, straight, traditional drop, you go beyond vertical 91 degrees before rotating 180 degrees, and that's not even the craziest moment on this ride. From there, you go into the intense, albeit short, layout. I expected elements like the stalling dive loop and the outer bank into the roll to be my favorite, but actually, you enter this Immelman, but it snaps out of the inversion a lot sooner than you would expect, and that gives it time, it snaps, to actually still get a full-on airtime moment over the crest of the hill. That was unexpectedly strong. Next, you do hit that kind of psychotic outer bank. I don't even know if you can call it an outer bank, because in my head, like an outer bank just means that you're, instead of twisting inward, you're twisting outward. This twists outward so much that it's also like inverted, you know? Like it's beyond 90 degrees. You're upside down and facing the wrong way. And then instead of just banking back inwards, you flip all the way around, upside down, around the corner. ridiculous. Then you have that diving stall, and that goes into like an ejector airtime outer bank, another outer bank. But this one is way more airtime. It's really trying to get you to leave the roller coaster. You do that into one more hill into the brakes. I expected this to be a really good roller coaster, but it exceeded my expectations. The only thing is that it ends so quickly. So I kind of compare this in my head to something like Iron Gwazi, a phenomenal roller coaster with some of the most like ridiculous elements, and then it's over. And this, even more so than Iron Gwazi, it just like, it ends right when it feels like it's getting going. I'm fortunate enough to be here on a pretty dead day, so I was able to get a couple rides in. I plan on getting a couple more. But wow, what a departure from both other hyper coasters I've been on, as well as other mack roller coasters. This, even for mack, the manufacturer, this feels like a very different sort of beast than what they normally make. So as I look around Thorpe Park and I experience the other rides here, it is so evident that a ride like Hyperia was needed to really, really finish rounding out this lineup, because this is the headliner, this is the peak, this is incredible. Stealth is fantastic. I have said this before, I am a sucker for a good launch, and there's often discourse among enthusiasts on whether Stealth or Max Force at Six Flags Great America has the quickest acceleration on a roller coaster. Honestly, I don't even really care, because they feel quite different, which is very interesting to me. Max Force has that initial boom, and that's where most of the launch feels like it happens. The rest of the launch track, you're just kind of catching up or speeding up a little bit. Stealth, these Intamin hydraulic coasters, it feels like you're getting yanked, like you're getting pulled all the way through the entire launch track. And I think I might like that sensation more. All Stealth does is go up the top hat, come down, rise into the airtime hill that also brakes as you get the airtime, so you don't even really get real airtime. The ride is strictly about the launch, and it is a really good one. I was in the very front row. I waited quite a few extra trains for that, and it was worth it. The sense of speed you get up front with all the wind blowing in your face, the view from up top, I think it's worth waiting for. Really good ride, and as someone who loves launches, this just hit that sweet spot. Stealth is running one train right now, which not ideal, because this ride actually has a separate load and unload station, and as you might know, when you have a separate load and unload, it saves time when you're running multiple trains, because trains come in empty, you don't have to deal with unloading and loading on the same platform. When you're running one train, it actually slows you down, because now you have all this dead space between the unload and the load. It's not ideal, but I'll give it the pass because it is a pretty slow day today. You know the rule, and so do I. If you see an S&S Scream and Swing, you have to ride it. Rush might just be the shortest cycle I have ever seen on one of these flat rides. Scream and Swings are my favorite flat ride because they produce so much airtime. You feel so exposed with just that lap bar, and it is just kind of nerve-wracking going on a ride that goes well beyond horizontal or vertical as the passenger, with not a whole lot protecting you from the outside world. This is definitely one of the shorter models. It doesn't go that crazy high. But on top of that, it literally reaches the peak swing like once, maybe twice, but it is the shortest cycle I've seen. I would love them to maybe, I don't know how easy it is to reprogram these things, but if they could just add a couple more swings, I think it would make the wait a lot more worthwhile. I didn't have to wait at all, it's a walk-on, but you get what I'm saying. The Swarm is just a very good wing coaster. It didn't blow me away, but it is just a really solid layout. I was quite impressed by the amount of near misses. All wing coasters should have 1 or 2 near misses, but this had like 3 or 4. And the near misses on this ride are not just like out of place props, just for the sake of the near miss. The first near miss is part of this crashed airplane, then you go through a smashed up billboard, and then you go over the station building, which is like a chapel or a church. It's so cool. This is a meticulously themed ride. Even the operator booth above the front of the station is like a flipped over ambulance, or super cool. And yeah, the layout itself is great. You have a few classic elements. You got that wing over drop, 0G roll. I really like the incline loop on this ride, as well as it has a very low to the ground turn. I was on the far right side, and you are barely above the water as you make that turn. Also, very small detail, there's a lot of fog. Like there's fog in that near miss, the next near miss. In general, a lot of the rides here utilize fog and other smaller practical effects. I just think it's neat to see all of those effects are up and running, whereas a lot of parks, especially in the US, might let those smaller effects that not everyone would notice, they might just let them break and die off and kind of ignore them. It's really cool to see these little elements really add up to a great ride. Now, it would be a shame for me to come and not talk about how pleasant of an experience it is here at Thorpe Park. The employees here are unbelievably helpful, friendly, accommodating. It has been a treat interacting with every single one of them. On top of that, operations have been pretty good across the board. There are groupers at just about every single roller coaster, filling all the seats. And aside from a couple rides that were only running 1 train, dispatches were like this on pretty much everything, especially on Hyperia. Near the end of the day, ride ops were almost like jogging alongside the train, checking restraints. It was unbelievably fast. It's one thing to see a well-themed amusement park that has a great lineup of rides. It's another to see it run very, very well, and that seems to be the case here at Thorpe Park. And just like that, that is going to do it for my day here at Thorpe Park. I am so happy that I was able to make it out to this park. What was a layover in Heathrow turned into this. So Thorpe is truly a park with so much character, so much theming and charm just integrated into the rides, the areas, the attractions, every part of it. And it wasn't just like surface level theming. All the rides like had their own soundtracks. They had special effects. This is just a park with so much character. And I hope I can get back here sometime soon. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider liking it. If you want to see more roller coaster and amusement park content just like this coming real soon, consider subscribing. My name is John. You've been watching Mid-Course Discourse, and I'll see you next time.